My name is Teredo, and I'm the network administrator with a company called Redpill Linpro. We're operating in the Nordics. I think that what we have done with our customers to deploy has been very positively received in the industry. Well, it was the so-called Dualstack brokenness issue, which means that you have a user which has IPv4 internet access, but as soon as you, as a content provider, bring your Quad A records to the site, he for some reason fails to access your site. And that's a technical problem for some reason, probably a bug in his home network or something like that, but it becomes a business problem because as a content provider you want as many readers as possible. Well, what we did was to measure it continuously in the background for all the visitors to my customers. And then we could kind of establish the big issues and go to the vendors of operating systems and home routers and the ISPs that had certain problems or were contributing to this problem and talk them into fixing it. Well, I don't like tunnels very much at all, so I would avoid them if possible, especially the automatically configured ones such as Teredo and 64, because they simply cannot be used to provide a production quality IPv6 internet connectivity. Well, the biggest problem we identified is that users, end users, will be using the 64 automatic tunnel mechanism. And they don't really know that they're doing this because this is the default on in some operating systems and several home gateway products. And we've seen that many networks filter these tunneled IPv6 packets kind of out of default. So I'd recommend ISPs to not filter protocol 41, which is 64, unless they have a good reason for it. Well, at this point in time, I think people should go native from the start. At the moment, there are several internet service providers that will provide you with proper connectivity, and if you as a business want to do something with IPv6, either bring it to your website or to your office network and so forth, there are likely to be suppliers that will be able to do it with native connectivity. Using a separate domain name, it doesn't really give you much at this point, because for once the users don't really go to that domain name. And the second one is the biggest problem we had from the business people while doing an IPv6 implementation is because we set up an IPv6 only domain name like that. And what happened was that it went into the Google index. So when people were Googling and wanting to go to articles on our customers' websites, they saw the IPv6 URLs, which were only accessible over IPv6, which means that they're inaccessible by almost everybody on the internet today. I see that content providers like Google, Facebook, Yahoo, and so on are really actively pushing towards deploying IPv6 to their content, because they see the same thing we do, that IPv4 is running out, and they don't want to serve content over IPv4 through a stack of NATs. They rather want to do it the fast route, which will be IPv6.